Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reader's Intrigue, where authors are going to read the first chapter of their book so that we can be intrigued and maybe find a new book to read. Get comfy, get cozy. Let's listen.
Hi, I'm Roger Leslie. In addition to being an author, I'm a writing coach, professional editor, creator of the First Last Year personal growth workshops, and owner of Paradise Publishing. We publish fiction and nonfiction for readers of all ages. Our mission is to inspire people to live the life they dream or to empower them to follow their own unique spiritual path. To find more information about me, my editing and coaching services, the courses I teach, my books, or the publishing house, please visit my website, rogerleslie.com. For 7 years of my childhood, I struggled with the dark night of my soul. Knowing I was gay, I couldn't reconcile how everything I did as a rule-following, adult-pleasing child was negated by my natural orientation. That led to a spiritual journey and soul-stirring epiphany I share in the memoir, Light, Come Out of the Closet. Chapter 1, I'm Going to Hell. Before I was old enough to articulate them as defining truths, I have known three absolutes. I love God, I love my family, I am gay. The sliver of the world I knew in childhood consistently supported those first two insights. I was raised by parents so committed to our religious upbringing that Dad worked extra to send my sister, brothers, and me to Catholic school. In my close-knit Polish-American enclave, the family unit was paramount. Loving God and loving my family came with a guarantee. Who I loved me in return. Though it remained unspoken, I always belonged. Then I awakened to a frightening suspicion. My third truth, that I am gay, could negate my assumption that love was automatically reciprocal. As the truth of my sexual identity clarified for me, so did the possibility that my family might not love me gay. But an intense terror loomed more threateningly in my waking life as a child and my hours of prayer as a young soul. What if being gay meant that God wouldn't love me either? All the affections and desires for love that felt natural to me as a child of God, made by God's hand in the image and likeness of God, seemed at odds with what the world and my religion suggested was honorable and spiritual. I've always known I was gay. Even before I understood what that meant, I sensed that I was different from everyone else I grew up around, even my own family. Yet in my stable home with my loyal parents, I felt safe, protected, and yes, loved. But whether a sign of the era or my culture, love as I recognized it in my childhood home was neither verbalized nor demonstrated with physical affection. When I was very, very young, I know that my dad held my hand when we walked on vacation because we once lost each other's grip on a packed boardwalk. When I reclaimed the hand, it felt rough and it pushed mine away. I was shocked to look up and discovered that I had grasped a stranger's hand. On another vacation, we walked so long down sidewalks of Toronto that I dragged beside my father, leaning on his arm as we trudged to our hotel. At the time, I didn't recognize his support as love. In my family, Dad always encouraged us to forge our own path. Be a leader, not a follower, he admonished all his children. As a result, my siblings and I were vehemently different. It seemed a requirement in our family to develop our character by finding interests that no one else in the family enjoyed. Judy, the eldest of us four children, became an accomplished ballerina from early childhood through her teens. It took little time for her to outperform all her peers and become the star pupil of once famous ballerina Leona Lucas. My older brother Randy loved and excelled in every sport available to a suburban boy in the 1960s. In the basement, he hung caricatures of his favorite baseball players. On his desk, he displayed an entire collection of walnut-sized pro football team helmets. Most proudly, he cherished a ceramic mug embossed with the front page of the September 18th, 1968 Detroit Free Press with the headline, "We Win," in reference to the Tigers' World Series victory. Before long, that mug was buried among trophies my brother won for baseball and football and basketball. Most impressive about my brother was the fact that he overcame an early childhood mobility issue to excel in athletics. I wanted no part of dance or sports. Instead, I loved visual and literary arts. I didn't just watch movies and television and read books. I studied them, then researched the background and process of developing anything creative. I wrote stories and designed scrapbooks of my favorite celebrities. I loved developing all types of puzzles. I created my own word searches and crosswords. Once, I decided I wanted a jigsaw puzzle featuring my favorite movie, The Poseidon Adventure. When no company manufactured one, I assembled a 1,000-piece puzzle I had at home, turned it over, and drew my own. Whatever I loved, I immersed myself in so passionately I didn't care how often others made fun of me. But it did lead me to perceive myself as different from other children. I could be sociable. I enjoyed playing outside with most of the other children who grew up around me on our cul-de-sac. We raced our bikes or bounced our Super Bowls so high in the air we would momentarily lose sight of them. I played with girls more than boys. Despite our dissimilar interests, Judy, Randy, and I often had similar toys. When Ray came along, he never seemed interested. While very young, Judy had a Barbie, Randy had a Ken, and I had an Allen. Not thinking anything of it, one day I saw neighbors Kathy and Jackie Farshoni on their front porch playing Barbies. So I brought over Allen and joined them. They were happy to include me, but other children on our court made fun of me. I didn't quite get why. So rather than join others in their interests, I took Dad's be a leader advice to heart and led activities. Once I decided to teach the younger children on the court how to roller skate. When I designed flyers about my upcoming free lessons, "Fun, fun, fun," promised the tagline. Randy chastised me for planning activities where I was better than others. That wasn't my intention. When I learned something new, I liked teaching others so they could join me. For a period, I wrote and directed some of the neighbor kids in skits based on TV shows like Bewitched and The Addams Family and Here's Lucy. In time, I even created my own show. The season Henry Fonda starred in The Smith Family, I developed my own totally original live action series, The Jones Family. For my pilot episode, I went all out, even redesigning our entire garage to replicate a family house. In one corner where we stored the lawnmower, I turned 2 sleds covered in beach towels into twin beds where the children of the family would reflect on the events of the show and end it with an uplifting moral. In time, I got more ambitious and wrote stage versions of movies. My cousin and I did a few scenes from Mary Poppins, but we never gave a full performance of my play. Eventually, my lofty goals outgrew my directing talent. After only a few rough and contentious days of rehearsing my production of Poseidon Adventure, my neighbor and main co-star, Jeanette Mamo, I was planning to star as Gene Hackman. Maybe Randy had a point. Jeanette marched into the garage where I was building the scaffolding for Belle Rosen's heroic dive and barked, "I have 5 words to say to you." Raising one finger at a time, she counted out each emphatic word. "I quit this stupid play." Considering the activities I enjoyed, I wonder how anyone could have missed the fact that I was gay. But in the early 1970s, I don't know that many people even thought about anybody being gay. On his occasional TV specials, Liberace paused between interludes to describe how his mother would remain the woman in his life until he found the right girl, for which he was searching. I read nothing more into that. When Mom and I talked about what we'd read in fan magazines, she usually included a lesson about becoming an honorable man. She told me how starlets' husbands who didn't want to attend premieres entrusted Cesar Romero to escort their wives because he was such a trustworthy gentleman around all women. I never considered the more obvious reason that he was no threat to their marriage. The little exposure I had to gay characters came from the movie reference books I had begun to collect. Richard Burton and Rex Harrison had starred as gay lovers in a film called Staircase, which I could never find in the TV Guide movie listing. I also read about The Boys in the Band and Sunday, Bloody Sunday, but they were only telecast on the Late Late movie. The first gays I ever saw on television were not fictitious characters, but authentic people. One evening, I stayed up very late with my mother watching television. After Johnny Carson's program ended, The Tomorrow Show came on. That night, Tom Snyder featured a lesbian wedding. Personally, I didn't feel one way or another about what I was watching. I was too overcome with the vehemence of my mother's disgust as she grumbled and watched, but never changed the channel. They're going to hell, she told me with the same acidity that she spat the identical statement when Helen Reddy accepted her Grammy for I Am Woman by thanking God because she makes everything possible. The seething intensity of my mother's reaction left me feeling both frightened and dead. I was already confused about sexual identity and God. I had no idea. But in those moments, it was as clear as the white carpet in the church those lesbians walked down how my family felt about what I was struggling to understand about myself. If I was gay, I was going to hell. My book, Light Come Out of the Closet, is available from all major online booksellers and bookstores all throughout North America. To follow me on social media, you can search for either author Roger Leslie or Dr. Roger Leslie on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter.
Thank you again to the amazing author that read us a story. And be sure to check out all the other amazing shows on RB Media. Till next time, bye.